Hello, everyone, and welcome to
The Movie House.
Today we're going to talk to you about a movie from 1988 called Midnight Run, starring Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin. What'd you think?
Well, I'm a big fan of Charles Grodin, and this is one of the reasons you thought that I might like this, because you had seen it before. I never even heard of it. I've heard of Midnight Express, which I think is something totally different.
Yes.
Definitely not Midnight. Very different.
Very different.
So I didn't know what to expect until I saw it. And I really didn't like Charles Grodin in it. I thought his character was just, it wasn't a Beethoven and it wasn't Dave. I love Charles Grodin in those movies specifically. But it, as you said, it did have a lot of good characters in it, or actors like Dennis Farina's in it. And I really like Dennis Farina from Law and Order. I was about to say LA Law for some reason, but Law and Order. So it was good to see him and other people that we've seen in other movies and TV shows. So that was fun.
Yeah, John Ashton from Beverly Hills Cop is in it as a rival to De Niro. Keeps trying to steal Charles Grodin away from De Niro's character. It's because they're bounty hunters. It wasn't a romantic thing.
Let's specify that.
Charles Grodin was an accountant. He stole money from the mob.
Yeah.
And so there's all these trials going on, and they want him to come testify. And
he's been on the lam for like 10 years.
Right,
a long time.
Yeah.
He's got a whole new identity. And
yeah, so the bounty hunter company tells De Niro they want him to go after this guy to make sure he shows up to court. And they're gonna pay him a lot of money to do it, and so he agrees. And it's supposed to be an easy gig. It's a midnight run, no problem. And of course, that doesn't happen. It becomes much more complicated by that. But John Ashton's character is a rival bounty hunter who's always trying to grab Grodin away from De Niro so he can get the money. That was my point.
It wasn't
right. Yeah, a lot of great actors in Yaphet Kotto. Like I said, De Niro and Grodin. And so, yeah, you didn't care for Grodin. I didn't care for the movie either. Like you said, I saw it once years ago, shortly after I think it came out on video, after it was in the theaters, and I didn't care for it then.
Oh.
But everybody, not everybody, a lot of people love this movie.
Right.
You look at the online reviews and things, people just adore this movie. So I thought, well, let's take another look at it. And maybe I missed something the first time.
Well, and sometimes that happens. Not often, but sometimes it does happen.
Right, and it wasn't really that good.
No.
And I always thought that De Niro and Grodin were a weird pairing anyway, because they have very different styles, and they're. I didn't see the chemistry that apparently the director Martin Brest saw, because he fought for Grodin be part of this. The studio wanted at one point to switch it to a woman and have Cher be the accountant.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, because she just won an Oscar recently for Moonstruck, which is a great movie.
Oh, that's a wonderful movie.
And then they thought, well, how about Robin Williams? Because he just did well with Good Morning Vietnam, so maybe we could stick him in there next to De Niro. And
that might have been different.
That might have been interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
But Brest wanted Grodin because he'd seen him, he'd had him audition, he loved what he did. And he insisted on it, and he actually ended up winning out, and we got what we got.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, a lot of people apparently like it, but for us, it just really didn't do anything for me. Like I said, the separate pieces were good, but all together, it just didn't make, I mean, not very memorable.
It's rated R, and it's got Robert De Niro in it. So you can imagine the kind of language that comes out of his mouth throughout this movie, which is just it's just draining after a while. I could put up with some cussing, but man, there's a limit.
Yeah.
And the comedy, so-called,
wasn't
very good.
No. And Charles Grodin is a fantastic comedic actor. I mean, we've had a review on Seems Like Old Times, and he's in that, and he's great. And like I said, I love him in Beethoven. I love him in Dave. We love him in Heaven Can Wait.
Yes.
I mean, you love him in that one.
Yes.
I mean, that's great. Your will is too strong, right?
Right.
And but this movie, I was like, well, where's the comedy? I don't know. Again, maybe it's direction. Maybe it was the script. He's a wonderful actor. Maybe he was told to act that way. I don't know, but it didn't do anything for me.
Okay. Well, same here. So if you haven't seen it, don't waste your time. Just pass it by. Just pass it by. Okay.
This is not the movie that you want to watch.
That's right.
Sorry, guys. It just didn't make it with us. It just was a...
Can't win them all.
Nope.
All right. Well, that's it for us. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.